This is your captain speaking. My name is Taylor Morgan. I am a CrossFit Level 2 trainer, and I am dedicated to helping you improve your life. I created the Captain's Lifestyle because I wanted to help as many people as possible. We cover topics ranging from fitness, nutrition, recovery, mindset, and more. If you're content with settling for average, then walk the plank. But if you're ready to become the captain of your own life, welcome aboard. Hello, and welcome to whatever episode this is of the Captain's Lifestyle Podcast. I'm your host, Captain Morgan. Here with me, we have another special guest on the show. He has been doing CrossFit for 9 years. He opened his gym, Another Level CrossFit, in 2011. He has his CrossFit level 2.5. He'll explain that a little bit later. And as well as his CrossFit weightlifting certification. And he's coached 2 regional level athletes, one of them being his wife. So please welcome on the Captain's Lifestyle, Corey Phelan.
Hello, guys.
There's going to be applause.
One day there'll be applause.
Yes.
Well, cool.
All right. So why don't we start with a little bit about your background? Like, what got you into CrossFit? Did you like playing sports growing up, whatever?
Yeah, I mean, I was always the I guess the small kid in high school. So I was always like, I always had the drive to do something, but never like the height requirement or the weight requirement to actually, be physically tough enough or strong enough to do something in high school. So, I didn't actually grow, to be 6'1" and 165 pounds until I was 19 years old. So it was like, my whole high school career was pretty much based off of drive and motivation, but no application. So, I mean, I got really into CrossFit. Me and my buddies used to work out from, just a regular home gym, just doing GloBo gym. I did actually physique for a little while. And then, transitioned. My brother just kind of opened my eyes to CrossFit back in 2010 and kind of just tested it out. I was in the garage with my buddies, just kind of testing it out by myself. Nobody wanted to do it because, I mean, if you know anything about physique, you hate leg day and anything that has to do with lower body. So, 4 days of the 7 are arms and back, and then maybe some deadlifts and some squats or something somewhere.
Just sprinkled. Those beach muscles.
Total beach muscles. Yeah. So upper body is everything. You know? So then transition to my brother kind of challenging me to a couple of workouts that I could do in my buddy's gym, and man, I thought I DNF'd my first workout, which was Linda, which is terrible, but I didn't know it was terrible. You don't know what you don't know. So,
DNF, do not finish, for those of you that don't know.
Definitely did not finish. I actually capped myself at like 45 minutes.
Oh boy.
And I saw a guy, Chris Phelan actually, on the main site,
the ninja.
Yeah, who had finished the workout in like 28 minutes. And I'm like, this guy is like 5'4", like maybe 130 pounds.
Yeah.
And he just just demolished this workout.
Yeah.
I made it to like rep count 4 on the way down, and he's made it all the way through this whole thing. And I made it to rep count 4 at 45 minutes. He made it all the way through in like 28 minutes. And I'm just like, there's something to this, right? There's something that I'm not doing, right? There's something wrong with this picture. So, I just kept on doing it by myself, secretly, hiding my scores so that my brother didn't know. Mm-hmm. And, then he kind of just asked me, what do you think about, starting a gym and just, kind of maybe just training in the garage, which if you've been around long enough, that's kind of how CrossFit starts is, it's kind of like a following of people. That's just kind of like you go to a weird industrial place. It used to be you just roll up the doors and you had a little bit of space, and people were kind of like, "Where is this place actually even here?" Yeah. Like it's in the corner.
Yeah, kind of sketchy.
Yeah, totally. And then opened a gym, and we, we were like 3 times the size of where we started.
Yeah.
But I mean, getting into CrossFit for me was just, I guess, just one foot in front of the other. It was just kind of like so intriguing. It was like, how could you not enjoy that challenge, right? There's so many movements in CrossFit that it's like, just when you think you have something figured out, there's something new comes out, right? I mean, and we've seen this even now. I mean, doing devil presses now is something that wasn't around when I was, in 2010.
Yeah.
And so those movements change.
Jillian Michaels, if you're listening, there's more than 25 movements in CrossFit.
Totally.
Yeah. Okay, so you opened the gym in 2011. When did you had your level 1 before that, I'm imagining?
Yeah. When I got my level 1, it was like the first time that they ever even had a test. And I did it in San Diego, Kalipa, Lipson, Nadia, all those
nice.
Like amazing coaches, right? Like the baddest of the bad of people.
Yeah.
Just super humble, down to earth people. We actually ended up coming back into San Diego. We actually came into their trainer session. If you guys been to level 1s or level 2s, you know that the trainers normally get down in the afternoon. At your level 2, they actually invite you to work out with them. But we got to see what like fitness was like, how they were training and how they were moving and how they were eating, and listening on their conversations. And it's mind blowing, to be a part of that group. And then, I mean, San Diego was awesome. Having my level 1 was obviously a scary thing, because back then you took a test and they made you wait in the auditorium. So it was like you waited there
before you knew the results.
Yeah. And
oh, wow.
Like, oh, wait 30 minutes. We'll tell you. So it was like, geez. Oh my gosh, like you couldn't even be in the comfort of your own home and
suspense,
cry yourself, if you failed. So it was like, oh, like I hope I made it, and we had a lot riding on it, because you have to have a level 1 to get your affiliation. Yep. So we were like, this is it. Like, we either paid $1,000 for nothing or and so we ended up, me and my brother both passed, and that was exciting, because that was all we talked about on the drive home.
Yeah.
And I went from there, and I tried to be as competitive as I could be while also trying to coach and work a lot.
Yeah,
which
it's hard.
Shout out to all those guys that have are going to school full time and still games athletes. That's amazing. I think that's incredible.
Yeah. The amount of dedication that it takes.
Oh, so much.
Because they're both full-time jobs. Like if you want to be a competitive CrossFit athlete and you also have, whether it be school or coaching, you have to put, I mean, it's hard to say 100% into both, but that's pretty much what it is if you want to be good.
Oh yeah. And it's hard to be, 100% at, you're giving 100% to one thing. It's hard to give anything else to something else.
Yeah.
It just takes a lot. I mean, especially to be an athlete. I mean, from a coaching standpoint, I can just tell you that, I mean, it is, it's sleepless nights. It's, frustration after how a workout went, and all you're thinking about for the next, 24 hours until you do that workout again, or until, you see where you fell on the leaderboard. Coming from the supportive role, it's nerve wracking. It's wondering where, it's almost like it's deciding what you're worth. You put in all this effort, and did you get the result out of it that you were looking for? So it's nerve wracking, and it's stressful for sure.
So you got to see Jason Kalipa throw down at level 1?
A couple of times actually. He's just the nicest person in the world. He looks like a giant teddy bear, really. I mean,
he does. Really.
He's just got a great mindset. He's a great person, and just super humble. Always willing to help somebody. I mean, he's a good dude.
Yeah, I met him at the CrossFit Regionals last year.
Yeah.
He said he liked my beard.
Very cool.
I was happy.
A shout out.
Yeah. Have you read his book, AMRAP Mentality?
I have not read his book yet. I think that honestly, when he came out with that book, I was like, that is my mentality.
Yeah.
Like that, what he describes. I mean, I know what the book is about. So that mentality he has is my mentality on most things that we do. So
perfect.
some of those people being for time, athletes, and those athletes that are like, they have an AMRAP mentality where they like something to be over, eventually. So, but yeah.
Yeah, I won a contest on his Instagram. It was like, I'm doing a podcast with, I forget who it was, but like ask me questions, and if it's featured on the podcast, I'll send you a signed copy. And very so cool. I got the copy and I read it. Brooke did too. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. I loved it. It was a great book. All right. So moving on, how long before you got your level 2?
Well,
2.5.
2.5. Yeah. So I got my level 2 because I got it because I thought that it was going to cover my renewal for my level 1. So I got it because I was like, okay, well, if I become a level 2, then, I'll be able to just be a level 2 coach. At that time, they only had 3 levels of coaching. And I was like, okay, well, so I think in October of 2015 is when I got my level 2, which was awesome. I know the format's changed a lot now, but when I went, I actually had one of my original coaches from my level 1 certification there, Eric, and it was a great take on how to switch things up, how to actually take all the awesome concepts that we learn in our level 1, but apply them to somebody that maybe doesn't even speak English.
Yeah.
Maybe is deaf.
Tactile cues.
Yeah. Just so many different ways to, when you get stuck in a rhythm, you do things one way, it becomes how your routine is. And what I really learned from that certification was, always change. This movement pattern always changes. The workouts always change. So you should always approach coaching in a changing manner, like always evolve, always adapt, always change the way you look at things. And it was amazing. I loved it. And there was no test in my level 2. Mm-hmm. It was just, you show up and you earn that spot in the room. So, just prove yourself, prove that you can understand the concept of changing yourself. And that's where it was. And so then they actually came back and said it doesn't cover your renewal. So I went and got my level 1 again, which was fun. But because, either way, I still got my level 1 again. It was fun. And then they ended up sending us an email saying, hey, CrossFit HQ's decided that level 2 will replace the renewal for level 1. So they gave us a credit, actually. Okay. So it was kind of cool. They kind of gave us a credit. And I applied that credit to I still have that credit to apply it to my level 3. So I actually got the book and everything like that. And because we hosted the weightlifting seminar, I got my weightlifting for free. So,
okay. Yeah. You kind of worried me there for a second, because I took my level 2 last year, and there is a test now, by the way.
Yeah.
But I thought for sure that it covered the renewal of the level 1.
Yeah.
And so you said that and I was like, shit, but they changed it. So it's good.
Yeah. I've had a lot of people do that too. I'm like, I can't really help you with, you could bring the book in and we can talk about it, mm-hmm. but I can't really help you with maybe what they cover on the test, because a lot has probably changed since I've been there. And when the first person, I don't remember who the first person was that went and got their level 2, but when they did, they're like, oh, there was actually a test. And I was like, oh, there was no test when I went, so I wouldn't have been able to help you, But
the test just recently changed because 2 of the coaches at my old gym, Dana Point, they didn't take tests either with their level 2, and that was like a year ago.
Okay, cool. So
a year and a half.
Changed.
Yeah. Okay, so you want to cover some of the differences between the level 1 and the level 2?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think level 1 is good for everybody.
Yeah.
I honestly think that anybody should go out and do it. Do it for yourself, just to kind of get a better idea of being well-rounded, right? What does it look like? I think that in level 1, what's really covered is quality, mm-hmm. right? Quality of movement, patterns repeated over and over again, and consistency. And that's huge because, most people coming to CrossFit, they think that in 3 months they're going to undo what 5 years has done to them. And, we see that all the time, but it's like, in your level 1, they teach you, be patient, with those movements and actually be perfected. Both times I went to my level 1, I've been called out into the middle, and I have a decent overhead squat. I have a decent air squat, but I've been called out into the middle to make it better, right? And I think that just goes to show you can always make something better, no matter what caliber of athlete you are or what caliber of a person you are. You can always learn something that makes you better, and I think it gives you a purpose too, being at your level 1.
And even if you're not doing CrossFit, like a level 1 is just a fantastic way to learn more, one, about CrossFit, and two, just about movement in general.
Yeah.
And it might shift your mindset with how you're working out now.
Yeah,
so.
Totally. And then, level 2 for me was just, it was a great experience because it kind of puts you in an uncomfortable position.
Yeah. Being in front of everybody.
Yeah. Being in front of, I've coached classes, up until that point. I coached, all of our classes almost, and been in a big group setting. But what I think it comes down to is when somebody says, okay, now you can't talk. How do you relay that, right?
Yeah.
Or imagine that now you can't, describe the deadlift because, that's where I was. It's like I'm very descriptive. So, okay, these are all the parts of the deadlift. This is what we're looking for. This is what we want to accomplish. Okay, that's great. But, how are you teaching calculus to a kindergartner?
Yeah.
How do you make that simplified so that they understand the concept and don't look for 10 faults when they could probably just fix one thing, right? Because one thing can make a huge difference in their experience. And that will keep them understanding that, there might be 9 other things going wrong right now, but that one thing is an improvement, right? So we were taught in our level 2, don't take somebody who's a D CrossFitter to an A over that 1 hour period of time.
Yeah.
Take them from a D to a D plus or from a D to a C minus. Mm-hmm. And that is improvement. And that's important, right?
Yeah.
Because then they don't feel like they are doing 9 things wrong. And how do they fix all 9 things when that's a lot to cover in a day.
Yeah.
Especially with movements they don't understand.
That's pretty much the same thing that they went over in my level 2. What's the word I'm looking for? Like, not progressions, but finding like the most harmful flaw that they
triage,
have.
Right? Triage.
Yeah. So, like if someone like in their squat, if their heels are coming up, if their knees are coming in, if their back is rounded, like which one do you fix first?
Oh, totally.
And, like like if you keep repeating yourself over and over again, okay, they might not understand that way. So the difference between visual, tactile, and verbal cues,
right.
And the same thing, like you said, now you can't talk. You just have to touch them and move them into the right position or show them, and the combination of those.
Which could also improve your marriage, also improve your relationship,
Yes.
Because, girls understand things a lot different than guys. So, being level 2 certified can help you communicate better.
Yes. Good point. Very good point. All right, so you want to explain the 2.5 a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I have my level 3 book, and I've skimmed through it, and I just never set the deadline, right? If you don't set a deadline for something, you're just never going to do it.
Yeah.
So having it passively on your desk when even procrastinators have a deadline, and they could stay up all night the night before, read the whole thing, right?
Me.
Yeah, totally. But but you could still get through the material, go to the test because the test is there. I've had the book. I've skimmed through it. I think the biggest concept that you can gain from the level 3 is you don't know anything about what you know. And it's more of not necessarily just the experience of being able to coach, but knowing everything, the ins and outs of how the body moves, right? How you can actually correct things, anatomy wise or physiology wise. It's a lot of knowledge base. It's not just, it's not just functional movement pattern, which I thought was huge because it is actually just a test.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool to be in that setting where now you're not being shown all those things in a classroom setting anymore.
Yeah,
you're actually,
do you know the knowledge?
Do you know it? Yeah, exactly. So,
okay, cool. So let's go into a little bit about the differences between programming for just a gym, like normal members, versus regional level athletes like Justin, who we interviewed on the last podcast, and Steph.
He sucks.
Sorry,
She's
Justin.
great. But, oh man, the programming difference, I think it's evolved so much now.
Yeah.
It's, because Steph could get to regional levels off of, working out once a day, doing something really hard, really fast. Her first regional was like that. And then her second regional was like, okay, the game kind of changed a little bit. Like now people were putting in more volume. They were putting in more work on their weaknesses. And
what year was this?
This was, her first year was 2014.
Yep.
Yeah, 2014. Or maybe it was her first year was 2013 and her second year was 2014. And I mean, the game changes. It just constantly grows. And I mean, they find different ways to find weaknesses, right? I mean, the pegboard is a great example.
Ring handstand push-ups.
Ring handstand push-ups. I mean,
That's crazy.
There's going to be some way that, Castro's going to find somebody's weakness somewhere in the weekend that's just going to make them hate themselves, because they can't get it done, or they can't get it done in a time cap, which for an elite athlete is like demoralizing for the rest of the weekend.
Yeah.
It's hard to bounce back from that mentally. So I think programming wise, now, from, when we started to where we are now is like, okay, training volume, but also attacking every aspect of fitness, whether that be, getting outside and doing something that, lifting lifting an Atlas stone versus lifting like an actual rock, at a park, or, swimming in an ocean versus swimming in a pool.
Yeah. Right.
Those two things are way different. And I think people, they take for granted the fact that they're comfortable in their box, and literally if you're going to be an elite athlete, you have to start thinking outside that box, and being a coach and a programmer for that means you have to be ahead of them thinking outside that box, right? You have to, I always tell people my whole job is to completely and thoroughly predict what's going to come, right? That's my job as a coach. What is going to come next? Because you're not focused on, what's going to happen in maybe the next year's games when you haven't made it to this year's games. So we're not focused on regionals until the Open's over, right? And we're not focused on the games until regionals is over, right? We got to be specific about programming for those specific events. We know that, even in Justin's case, we know that he's going to be better at the regional setting than he is at the Open, right? Which is why this year it was like, okay, we know that your weakness is your strength has always been getting to regionals, right? And then when you get at regionals, you can bump yourself 12, 14, 16 spots because you showcase out, right? Which is a good thing to do. But then they eliminate regionals. So now what's the focus?
The
right?
Open.
The Open, right? The Open, and then the sanctional event. So then it becomes into, okay, how do I program for those specific sanctional events that we've decided are going to be on our map? And then, program for the Open as well, because the Open is going to be important, and being top 20 in the world is going to be very important. And if that hasn't been our focus before, because just getting to regionals was the focus, because regionals was going to allow the platform to get to the games, that was more important.
Yeah.
Then you change the way you program that.
Yeah. So now shifting it to like my 64-year-old dad, who has been at your gym for like a year and a half, almost 2 years, I think.
Yeah, totally.
So you want to talk a little bit about like how CrossFit is for everyone, regardless, like it's infinitely scalable.
Oh my gosh. So much so. I mean, and you can
CrossFit is not what you see on TV.
Totally
like if you
not.
go into a gym, that's not what we're doing.
Totally not. I mean, I think too, people have that mindset when they hear the word CrossFit, they think you guys are nuts, right?
Yeah.
They might even be talking to a coach or a trainer, and they're just thinking fearfully that they're going to make them do something that they don't really want to do, right? Which is not the case. Every person who walks through our door, in my opinion, has the same value, right? I mean, that's just my belief. God gave everybody the potential to be their own great person, right? And so my whole goal is to help them achieve those goals, right? My whole goal for, for your dad, let's use your dad as an example. I know your dad loves to golf. I know that, he enjoys life outside of the gym. And so my goal is not going to be to, increase his volume tremendously so he can be a competitor. My whole goal is going to be, okay, how can he do this for the rest of his life to improve his life?
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
It's more of a lifestyle outcome focused type of a program. So, infinitely scalable means if you can't do a pull-up, it's not get out of the gym.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, how do I program so that you can eventually do a pull-up while still allowing you to do everything else that you're doing outside of here, right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of times this happens every single time I start somebody who's new, maybe a little bit overweight, maybe over the age of 40 into the gym, which is my lower back is so tight. Or I'm injured, right? My lower back is injured. And that's just not the case. It's just you've been sitting in a desk chair all day.
Yeah.
And then you've come in and you've done something that's now outside of that realm, right? You've done something that you've added to your plate, and that is in turn why your back is feeling the way it's feeling, because it's never been stressed like it is before, right?
Yeah.
And then you spent the next day sitting in the chair, and then I got to undo that, and then you spend the next day sitting in a chair, and then I got to undo that. And I always tell people this: does your back hurt on Monday? And the answer is probably no.
Yeah, because
after the weekend, you didn't sit in a chair all day, right? You were out moving around. You did all your chores, you did all your errands, and then you come back into the gym and, oh my gosh, I feel so much better, right? But then Monday through, or Tuesday through Friday, you're injured.
Yeah,
and I think that just goes back into being able to assess each person's individual needs, because it doesn't matter what the program says. I mean, if you can't do a single push-up, it doesn't mean that you're not going to ever be able to do a single push-up. It just means that you have to do the steps necessary in order to achieve that, right? So smaller goals, right? So it might not be CrossFit Games, CrossFit Regionals. It might be, hey, I want to be able to do a push-up. I want to be able to get my squat to full depth. I want to be able to, most guys, I want to get my deadlift up, right? I want my deadlift weight to go up, or whatever it is. And then most girls are like, hey, I really just want to be in shape. I want to be toned. Their core, the middle of their body. And then on both spectrums, guys don't want to, run. They don't want to do cardio.
Yeah.
Because they feel like they'll lose their strength if they do that. And then girls are like, I don't want to lift heavy. I don't want to lift heavy because then it'll make me fat, or that'll make me big.
True.
And, the honest answer is, I don't think that my wife is fat or big. She lifts heavy and she runs fast. So I don't know what the middle ground is, but it's like, you have to be able to be okay with accepting what we know works and be open-minded to it, because then we can make that happen for you.
Yeah. So the goal of CrossFit is not to make you better in the gym. It's to make you better in whatever it is you do outside of the gym, like your everyday life.
Heck yeah. For grandparents, if you have grandkids, your whole goal should be, how can I run around with them all day?
Yeah.
That's the way I view it for me now, even lifestyle wise, is keeping up with my kids, whether that's late hours of the night with my baby or, running around with my son, got to be able to keep up.
Yep. And he's fast.
Oh, he is fast. And he's everywhere. You know?
Yeah, I saw him last night at the gym. I just finished my workout, and he's running all over the place, like just in circles. And I thought he just finished drinking a Bang.
Oh my gosh, it's like it. That's the energy level he has.
All right, so why do some people think that CrossFit is so expensive?
Oh man, a lot of people think that Whole Foods is expensive.
Yeah.
A lot of people think that fine restaurants are expensive. What is it that you're getting from those places? I think it's the value. And they think that CrossFit is so expensive because they're used to paying $10 a month, for Planet Fitness, or, $40 a month for In Shape. I call it A Shape. I don't call it In Shape. But that's because you stay A Shape.
Yeah.
You don't ever get in it. You just
A Shape.
Yeah. You're A Shape there and A Shape when you leave. But it's just because, most people don't understand the power of having somebody there constantly holding you accountable to the things that you say that you want, right? And I think that it helps you put a value on it when you have some skin in the game, right? When you pay $150 for a membership, you're gonna go, and you're going to want to see results, or you're not gonna really enjoy it, right? But if CrossFit was $10 a month for everybody, I mean, I can make $30,000 a month, and never see a single one of you. But you have a CrossFit membership, maybe we should do that. Maybe we should just have a $10 membership and everybody gets a keychain and a shirt. And, you can use it as you need it. But how many people get roped into what costs more? A 2-year contract with a gym that's $50 a month that you never go to and can't get out of, or a gym that charges you monthly or even, 3-month basis, that you actually are being held accountable to show up, and you're actually going to see the results that you say you want. I mean, what's more valuable? I mean, you spent, $1,000 to $1,200 over here at this place that you never went to, or you spent, $1,000, $1,200 over here at this place that you went to every single day, and you actually are seeing results and change because somebody's actually there, is holding you accountable.
That's the whole model of the GloBo gyms. That's why their prices are so low, because they just want people to sign up, and then they know that they're never going to show up.
It's so a marketing strategy. It's like, how many memberships can we get signed up? They have specific people out there that go out and sell a membership. And those people get a commission. My coaches don't sell a membership. You walk into our gym, you like us or you don't like us. And we even give like a trial basis, like, hey, come and try us out. And if you don't like us, no harm, no foul. I'm not going to hate you or walk around and be like, oh, he still goes to NJ. I think that any fitness is bet. I mean, if you can do what we do at our gym at home, go for it.
More power to you.
Yeah, totally.
But most CrossFit gyms don't do much marketing. The marketing comes from the members. Because if you like something, you're going to tell people about it.
And, at least we think so.
You'd hope so. And which is why a lot of people think, oh, CrossFitters, all they talk about is CrossFit. It's like, because we enjoy it and we want you to benefit from that as well.
Yeah, totally.
And I think it's so expensive, in air quotes, because you're paying for not only the environment of being around like-minded people who are suffering with you together, but also the coaching. Because if you go into Planet Fitness, whatever, there's no one there like coaching you through your squat if you're doing it wrong. Like,
they pay more attention to the towels than they do the actual members.
Exactly. It's just I think you get what you pay for.
Oh, totally.
So, I mean, if you think CrossFit is expensive, I would just suggest try it out. Like most gyms, like you said, offer a trial. Go try it out. I mean, if you don't like it, like you said, no harm, no foul, whatever. As long as you're doing something is always better than nothing.
If you really are into fitness and like you really are into bettering yourself so that you can live a better life outside of the gym, it's going to be for you. You might have to look at you when you get home and say maybe you can't afford it. But I would say if you cut out your Starbucks and you cut out, maybe your Netflix addiction, then you can afford it, right? I mean, it's just all based on choice. I mean, if you like Mercedes-Benz, but you have the budget for a Honda, you're never going to have a Mercedes until you change things. Then you can go after having a Mercedes, right? And your body is way more important than a car. I mean, you get one body, right? So invest into yourself. Don't view that as a sacrifice, right? Invest into yourself. View that as the privilege, because it's going to help you benefit in the long run.
Exactly. So last question. Well, how much time do we have?
7 minutes.
7. Okay. So 2 more questions. We can cut that out. All right. So another question. Why, or is CrossFit a cult?
I guess it just depends on how you look at that word. I actually have the definition of cult on my phone because I hear that a lot. And cult is like a religious belief in something, right? Like a worship of like a person or an idol or an object. And if you view CrossFit as a cult, you're truly worshiping yourself. I mean, you're investing into yourself. I think that what they get themselves confused with is the difference between a cult and a community, right? A community is something that interacts together and pushes toward a common vision or a goal, right? And the reason that it's a strong community and not a cult is because no one, there's no like pressure to be there or not be there, right? And there's no like us idolizing Greg Glassman,
Yeah.
It's everybody's there supporting each other, which it can seem cult-like because are you going to hang out with your friends who eat greasy nachos and go to, Wingstop every day of the week and eat pizza all the time? Or are you going to hang out with your CrossFit community who actually wants to live a healthier lifestyle?
Yeah.
And the reason that people always talk about CrossFit is because it's like, it's actually fun when you're around it, when you're a part of that community. And then it's also a huge benefit to be around this similar like-minded people, right? Because those people are feeding into what you're trying to accomplish. They know where you want to go. And so, I mean, if you want to write it off, I hate labels. So, it's like being left or right winged, right? It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
It's like everyone has their own opinion about something. That's totally fine. But don't label something that you've never tried, one. And I would say that most people inside of CrossFit, inside of a gym, part of a gym, would not say it's a cult because, there's not one leader there. There's a ton of leaders there that are leading themselves to a better lifestyle.
All right. Well, that covers that. CrossFit may not be a cult. Maybe if there's a shrine of Greg Glassman in the gym.
Yeah, I mean, if you think it's a cult, come and prove it to me. Just show me some documents or something.
All right, last question. How does it feel to have a wife that's fitter than you are?
I get that question a lot. It feels really good, actually. It makes me super confident. And honestly, my wife is a crazy maniac fitness freak, but she's also the most humble, giving, just super energetic person that I know. And I can just tell you that her being fit literally just pushes me, and it shows me new boundaries. I mean, it's helped me in coaching aspects, in life aspects. She truly does give 100% to everything that she does. I mean, I've never seen her give 80%. I've never seen her not try. And she gets the craziest look in her eye, and she just goes hard at it. And I'm thinking, no, I'm not going to try it. Most people ask me after, if they see us get done on the workout, they're like, who won? And I'm always like, you already know the answer to that. It's like, I don't know why you ask me, because I know that she beat me at something. She always asks me what I got, just, not because she cares. Yeah. Because she wants to know, make sure that she beat me. Yeah. So, and I'm okay with it. Honestly, she's super strong. She's very dedicated. And, I mean, even now, with our kids, it's like she can still juggle them and, work out and still be, mom and CrossFit athlete, but not in the sense of being, crazy maniac, competitive athlete, but still keeping up. Yeah. Still, I mean, she can step back in the comm class and still beat the girls there, and I think that's just has to do with her mindset. It has nothing to do with what shape she's in. It just has to do with the fact that she's willing to push herself in any facet. So when it comes to that, I'm so grateful that she does that, because it shows up in every other aspect of life. Oh, yeah. So I don't ever have to question whether, she's giving our marriage 100% or she's giving, the business 100%, because it just shows up with her fitness. Yeah. So it's okay to me that she beats me, that she's fitter than me. She has a crazy, some people just have it. Some people have to learn it and train it and grow it. She has always had the ability to just go into the dark place and push into her best events ever are the most painful, everyone else hates it event. It's tough. Crazy. It is.
But yeah, how you do anything is how you do everything.
Totally. And she's super committed, and even, yesterday we worked out together yesterday, and I beat her in the first workout, not by much, but then in the second workout, because I beat her in the first workout, in the second workout, she's like, "What'd you get?" And I'm like, "Oh, what happened to like, how'd you do, babe?"
Yeah.
No,
Serious,
straight to the point.
Yep.
She wants to know.
Yep.
Did I beat you? Yeah. Okay, fine. You beat me. It's
Yeah,
fine.
you did. Okay, so you want to tell people where they can find you?
Oh yeah, you guys can find us at 1205 East Vine Street. You guys can go online to Another Level CrossFit.com. You're always welcome to drop in. You're always welcome to hang out with us. I think that the more you hang out with us, the more your friends are going to call you leader or followers of a cult. But, yeah.
So I first joined the gym. So yours was the first gym that I joined. I think in 2012. Yeah, I was a junior. I think.
It's been
and I loved it ever since. It got me hooked. The community there is just absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
I'm actually wearing the shirt from my first CrossFit competition, the hazing.
Very cool.
Yeah. Lucas actually convinced me to join the day before.
Oh, cool.
So he just texted me. He's like, "Hey, do you want to do a CrossFit competition?" And I was like, "No, like I'm not fit enough for that."
Yeah.
He's like, "No, it's like this one specifically is for like your first CrossFit competition,
Yeah, totally.
the hazing."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Shoot, okay." I didn't do like well or anything, but it was just super fun, like that competitive atmosphere. And every time, I forget the name of the song, but every time the song comes on, I remember what I was doing in that workout,
right,
in the competition, and it's just, it was fun. Yeah. You want to talk a little bit about what you brought there?
Yeah. So this is like one of my favorite go-tos. I encourage people who have like a stressful lifestyle, or if they, you get anxiety during workouts, or you can't slow yourself down a little bit to kind of stay focused on what you're trying to do, is we work with a company called New Axiom, and they do Vital CBD, which is their sublingual spray. This stuff is amazing. They use MCT oil, which is just basically coconut oil, triglycerides, but then they use, a little bit of CBD, not THC, but CBD.
There's a difference.
Right? There's so much of a difference.
We can go into that on a different podcast.
Yeah, totally. You should. Yeah. Get people like enlightened on how that works. But this stuff is so amazing. It literally, it's like I take it before a long workout. If I know that you want to go fast, but you need to like have a calm heart rate because you got to stay on a good pace, this is great stuff to take. Runners take this all the time, but I also use it primarily to get into a more relaxed state of sleep, right? I think a lot of athletes out there that, are taking stuff or hyped up on pre-workout or whatever else it is, they can't get themselves to calm down, or they can't get themselves to stop thinking about what they're going to do the next day, right? And actually get some actual rest, which this just helps tremendously with. So I take this. I recommend that my wife takes this. My Justin takes some of this. So it's like, and I just recommend it to everybody who really just truly wants to get a good night's rest, not like try and sleep and then wake up and then sleep and then wake up and then sleep and wake up. Like if you're having trouble sleeping, this is the stuff to do. This is all natural, 100%. And I recommend it because it's hard nowadays, especially with a lifestyle, right? Lifestyle, it gives a hard time of getting 4 hours of sleep, then you got to wake up and do something, or you wake up just because. This will get you 6 to 8 hours consistent sleep, no matter what. Guarantee it. It works, and they've got a stronger dose. So if this one isn't working for you, they do have a stronger dose too. So one of these will work for you.
Yeah, I've taken some CBD because Brooke used to work at a dispensary, so she got me a CBD, one of those drop things, and I used it, and I definitely noticed it helped with my sleep.
Oh my gosh,
taking it before bed.
I'm trying to get Ferris to actually. He's working on gummies because I love fruit snacks.
Yeah.
So like,
who doesn't love fruit snacks?
I know fruit snacks are awesome. So I'm trying to get him to work on gummies because I think that those would be awesome too. But this stuff is amazing.
But yeah, also CBD is anti-inflammatory.
Yeah, totally.
So, yeah.
So is MCT just helps with, lactic acid and clear inflammation. They have a rub too that works really well. We use it all the time when we, try and work on athletes that have shoulder injuries or lower back pain or anything like that. They have rubs too, and they even have pet drops so that your pets can get allergy free and calm down. Most like Labradors and stuff like that, they're like high energy, so they have pet drops too. So
I should get some of that because I have a dog puppy he's super old, and he's like attached to my mom. So every time my mom leaves, he sits at the back door and just whines and whines and whines. So he's like, we need some of that stuff for sure.
Something,
yeah. So where can people get that?
You guys can go to our website, Another Level CrossFit. We have the link to the product on our website as well. And you can also just message Ferris at New Axiom CBD Instagram handle. He will hook you guys up if you just mention that Corey and Stephanie sent you. He will make sure that he takes care of you guys. So this is an amazing product. We always have this on hand.
Yeah.
If we're about to run out, we make sure that there's more coming. So
cool. Awesome. Yeah, well, that'll do it. Any closing remarks?
I think this is awesome. Yeah. I think that people need to be informed about things that maybe they don't know fully.
Yeah. And
it's good to have, a fresh take or even opinions that you might trust.
Yeah. Like CBD, like it doesn't get you high.
No, it doesn't. I've tried.
Yeah. Overdose on CBD.
It's like you just take as much as you want and you go to sleep.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's it then. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you for coming on.
Of course.
Appreciate it. Sweet. Peace. All right. This episode is over. Thank you so much for listening all the way to the end. If you enjoyed it, please share it with someone else who you think could benefit from it. And if you feel so inclined to like, subscribe, and write me a review, I would appreciate that greatly. It truly helps a lot. It helps me spread this message to other people so they can improve their lives. And if you haven't already, check out the other episodes of the Captain's Lifestyle podcast. And if you are interested in learning more about the Captain's Lifestyle or what I'm up to, head over to thecaptainslifestyle.com or follow me on Instagram at 6CaptainMorgan9. And don't forget, live the Captain's Lifestyle.